Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timirandasya Skinandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshagaupa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada, verse 20, which is the last verse of the 15th chapter, entitled The Yoga of the Supreme Person. Please repeat. Iti Guyatamam Shastram Idam Uktam Maya Nagha Etad Bhutva Buddhiman Shyat Kritakriyash, yes, Cha Bharata Iti Guyatamam Shastram Idam Yuktam Maya Nagha Etad Bhutva Buddhimam Syat Krita Krityascha Bharata Iti Guyatamam Shastram Idam Yuktam Maya Nagha Etad Bhutva Buddhimam Syat Kritas Krityascha Bharata. Okay, go ahead. Okay, word for word, please repeat. Iti, thus. Guya tamam, the most confidential. Shastram, revealed scripture. Idam, this. Uktam, disclosed. Maya, by me. Anagha, O sinless one. Etat, this. Bhutva, understanding. Buddhimam, intelligent. Syat, one becomes. Kritakrityaha, the most perfect in his endeavors. Cha, and. Bharata, O son of Bharata. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic literatures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Please repeat. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Purport Srila Prabhupada. The Lord clearly explains here that this is the substance of all revealed scriptures, and one should understand this as it is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus one will become intelligent and perfect in transcendental knowledge. In other words, by understanding this philosophy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engaging in his transcendental service, everyone can become freed from all contaminations of the modes of material nature. Devotional service is a process of spiritual understanding. Wherever devotional service exists, the material contamination cannot coexist. Devotional service to the Lord and the Lord himself are one and the same because they are spiritual. Devotional service takes place within the internal energy of the Lord. The Lord is said to be the sun, the ignorance is said to be darkness. Where the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Therefore, whenever devotional service is present under the proper guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, there is no question of ignorance. Everyone must take to this consciousness of Krishna and engage in devotional service to become intelligent and purified. Unless one comes to this position of understanding Krishna and engages in devotional service, however intelligent he may be, in the estimation of some common man, he is not perfectly intelligent. The word anagha, by which Arjuna is addressed, is significant. Anagha, O sinless one, means that unless one is freed from all sinful reactions, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. One has to become free from all contamination of all sinful activities, then he can understand. But devotional service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in devotional service, one automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness. While one is performing devotional service in the association of pure devotees in full Krishna consciousness, there are certain things which require to be vanquished altogether. The most important thing one has to surmount is weakness of the heart. Thus one gives up the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. The second weakness of the heart is that one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature. He becomes attached to matter and the possession of matter. The problems of material existence are due to these weaknesses of the heart. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing oneself from these weaknesses of heart, and the rest of the chapter, from the 6th verse through the end, discuss Purushottam Yoga. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 15th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita in the matter of Purushottam Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. Mukham karochi vachalam bhangam laite girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Gurun didatarinam iti guyatamam shasram idam uktam maya nagha etad bhutva buddhimam syat krita kritascha bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Yes, so this is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures. We know that the Vedas are vast. Generally, our acharyas say that 3 sections we accept as amnaya is the expression, and that is the Vedas themselves, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva Veda. Then there is they're called the Shruti. Then there is the Smriti. Shruti means that which is heard. The Vedas are heard. They're recited and heard. The Smriti is that which is remembered. So that includes all the Puranas. So they are histories. Purana means ancient. So they are stories from ancient times. And each Purana, there are 18 major Puranas, each Purana controls, presents these stories. And through these stories we understand the Vedas. So they illustrate the Vedas. And then there is the Pancharatra. That is composed by Narada Muni and other great sages. And that is, Pancha means five jewels. It means how to practically perform devotional services given there, and so on and so forth. So this is the most confidential part. But what is it? The previous verse refers to that which is the most confidential part. Yo mam evam asabudho janati purushottamam sa savavid bhajati mam savabhavena bharata. Right? So here it is. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without doubting, is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. So this is, Prabhupada finished there, discusses Purushottam Yoga. So Purushottam means Purush Uttam. It means the Supreme Person, the ultimate person. So that is Krishna, Param Dhamma Param, Pavitram Paramam Pamam. That is what Arjuna said after the realization of the Virat Rupa, the universal form. You are the supreme abode, you are the supreme pure. All the great sages say this of you, Asitala Devala Vyas Narada. Now I am realizing it. So yes, that is Purushottam Yoga, to realize who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is also there, similar to this verse, this number 19, is there in the Chatur Sloki. There's 4 summary verses of the Gita. They're in the 10th chapter. Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matak sarvam pravartate. From me everything emanates. Everything material and material comes from me. Iti matva, but those that know this very nicely, they perform my devotional service. So this is very similar to today's verse, right? Those that know me without doubting, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the knower of everything, and he therefore engages himself in full devotional service, O son of Kunta, Bharat. And then there's another sloka, Yashya Deve Parabhakti, Yashya Deve Tataguru, Tesyate Kahita Yatha, Prakashante Mahatmana. That Yashya, those people who have implicit faith in the Supreme Lord and the Spiritual Master, to those great souls, everything is revealed automatically. So the key point is to realize the Supreme Lord. But the realization is not just a factual, I know Krishna's God, but asamudho, right? An implicit faith in that sloka we just quoted. That we must come to the point of implicit faith. That means realization, right? That we must understand that Krishna by direct perception, not just theoretical or with an academic idea, but we actually come to the realization Krishna is the Supreme Person. So in this world there are many manudharma, that means man-made religion, and to some extent they discipline and give some moral instruction how you should live. You should do unto others as you wish them to do unto you, and so on and so forth. And they say, do not do this, do not kill, do not this, do that. But you will find in the Manudharma that the idea of the Supreme Lord is very indistinct. But the Vedic literature, particularly the Srimad Bhagavatam, is the revelation of the actual Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is the key point, as it is in today's verse. The most confidential part of all Vedic knowledge, with that full range, the Puranas, the original Vedas, the Pancharitriki, all these things, all the Acharyas' commentaries, all the histories, all the Sampradayas, the most confidential part is to come to the realization, direct, asamudho. That means without doubting. So that means to directly experience the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the most confidential thing. And then we can actually enter into the Leela of Krishna. You see, it's one thing, many people may think, yes, the Vedas say Krishna is God. But there are also many other Bhagavans mentioned. But what does the Srimad Bhagavatam start? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, right at the beginning of the Bhagavatam. So the Bhagavatam declares it very clearly that Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, is the Supreme Personality of God, is Bhagavan. And that this Supreme Absolute Truth has three aspects: Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman, the Brahman effulgence. But Krishna's too Bhagavan, and he is the source of the whole creation. And the Vedanta Sutra, it says, now you're a human being, or now if you want to be a human being, what you should be doing is inquiring into the absolute truth. Atato, now, Brahma Jignyas. So even there in the Vedanta Sutra, Brahma, the Supreme. But the Srimad Bhagavatam is explained to be the exposition of the Brahma Sutras, the Vedanta Sutra. The Vedanta Sutra is the summation of Vedic philosophy. The original Vedas have four aspects. One aspect is prayers, samhitas. They are prayers. And then there is the yagyas. Yagyas are described, things that you can perform, not necessarily always to the Supreme Lord. And then there's the aranyakas. The aranyakas are discussions. Aranyaka means in the forest. The guru is discussing with the disciple how to perform yagyas. And then there is the Upanishads in the Vedas. The Upanishads, Upanishad, is to teach the student how to go to transcendence. In the Vedas, there may be so many yagyas towards different demigods. But the Upanishads, they advise, they're the same ideas, they're anrakyas. They teach how the yagyas can be performed. But the Upanishads teach how Brahman can be realized, the absolute final word, the creation. So they are summarized, that knowledge is in the Vedanta Sutra. And it starts that, yes, there may be so many yagyas, there may be so many moral advices about how to perform, and this is called Varnashram, this is Vaidhi Bhakti. The Vedas that whole accumulation which we've mentioned contains two dharmas. One is varnashram, which is a stress on Vaidhi, rules and regulations according to your material situation. But then there is also Sanatan Dham. Sanatan Dham is eternal religion, sometimes also called Jaiva Dharma. So Varnashram Dham advises how the individual should perform, how society should be structured. But that is not the real point of Vedic knowledge, how to have a good, peaceful, coexisting material situation. The real aim of the Vedas is, or the Upanishad, to go to transcendence. And that is the most confidential part of knowledge. So Sanatan Dham deals with that. Jaiva Dharma deals with that. So therefore, the Acharyas, Rupa Goswami says, Seva Siddhika Sadhana Rupena Chatrahi. You should perform devotional service using your sadharupa, your sadhaka rupa. That means you should discipline your material situation according to sadhana, under the guidance of varnashram. But in your siddharupa, which means your awakening spiritual nature, you should perform Sanatan Dham. And this is the proper combination. With the consciousness, we perform Jaiva Dharma, which means ultimately bhakti to the Supreme Lord. But within the safe boundaries and guidance of the rules and regulations of the Vedas, we cultivate that supreme Dharma. And that supreme Dharma is Sanatan. As Prabhupada mentioned that, it is ultimately transcendental. It is above the modes of material nature. But as long as we have a material body, we should be careful to take the advice of Vaidhi Bhakti, how to live. So therefore in Vaidhi Bhakti there is rules and regulations for grihastas, for vanaprasthas, for brahmacharis, for sannyasis, so on and so forth. And they're all giving advice. But what does Mahaprabhu say? Naham viprata narapati naipi vaishyana sudra. I'm nothing to do with varnashram. Ultimately, I am what? Gopi bhata kamalayo dasa das anudas. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the beloved and the lover of the gopis. So this is Sanatan Dham. So Mahaprabhu is Namo Mahavadanyaya because he emphasized this Sanatan Dham. That's why he, Krishna Prema Pradayate. If you follow Sanatan Dham within the safe protection of rules and regulations, then you can gain Krishna Prem, which is the ultimate revelation of the soul. And that reveals the Supreme Person. So that verse is there, yes, I am the source of everything. But then the third one, well, the second verse is Maksita Makkata Prana. It gives the process of bhakti. My devotees, they are always discussing me, sitting together, reading scripture, discussing it. And this way, Tushyanticha, Romanticha, they feel pleasure and happiness. And then Tesham Satada Yuktanam. In this way, doing this Sanatan activities, hearing and chanting about Krishna, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, they worship me with priti. They don't worship me mechanically following rules and regulations, but they have their heart and soul awakening in priti. Priti means loving attitude. And to those people, following Sanatan Dham, in that Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, I give them intelligence by which they can come to me and realize me asamudho, without doubting. But it's a very key. Bhajatam pritipurvakam. So yes, we follow rules and regulations. In the discussion with Ramananda Roy and Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Roy, what is sadhya and what is sadhana? Sadhya means the ultimate goal, and sadhana is how do I attain that? So Ramananda Roy replied to Mahaprabhu, he said, Varnashram is very good. And Mahaprabhu dismissed that. He said, this is external. What did he mean? It means that is to do with the body. What about the soul? And then eventually, step by step, it's very interesting. And then Ramananda Roy said, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam. This practice. Before that, Ramananda Roy gave different practices, such as Yad Karosi, Yadanasi, follow your rules and regulations, but as an offering. Okay, go further. And then Ramananda said, Shravanam Kirtana, which is Sanatan Dham. Then Mahaprabhu said, very good. Now you're on the right track. So that is the way we realize the Supreme Person. By Shravanam, hearing and chanting, performing meditation on the name, form, quality and pastimes of Krishna, Padasevan, serving the deity, serving the Leela by remembrance, Archanam, by worshipping the deity of Krishna, Vandanam, by offering prayers to the deity, Vandanam, Dasyam, developing the mood of service, Seva Bhav, and then intimacy, Sakya. That doesn't refer to Sakya Ras in Goloka. That means after you serve somebody, you also develop an intimacy. So that is Sakya. So that means Sakya. And then Atma Nivedanam. So this is Sanatan Dham, to practice those things. And it is explained that if you just practice one of those properly, you can attain perfection. But you can practice them all. And in Kali Yuga, it's particularly recommended that you practice Shravanam and Kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And then when you realize the Supreme Lord, Sava Bhavena Bharata. You realize the Supreme Lord by following and doing all this as yajna. Like the sages at Namasharanya. They said, we're here now, Sutta Goswami, to perform yajna. We want to hear what Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadev Goswami discussed. And this is our yajna. Yajna doesn't just mean making a fire sacrifice. Because manmana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji. Do everything as yajna. So we're hearing, and that is our sacrifice. We're chanting the name in kirtan or in mala. That is an offering. And then we're remembering. That is our offering. That is our devotional offering. Padasevan, we're doing some service, that is our offering. Similarly, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, and so on. They are all to be done with Seva Bhav. They're all to be done as an offering. They're not to be done as something we do. Or we do for even our own elevation. We may initially come to Krishna consciousness, we read, oh, chant and be happy. So we think, oh, in the material world I'm miserable, I'm going to go to the temple and become happy. Well, okay, that's good. Come to the temple and chant Hare Krishna. But if you get some good instruction, you should remember that you're chanting, why? as an offering, as a yagya. Sankirtan, yagya, right? So everything for a devotee, manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji yagya. It's all a yagya, mam namaskuru, and it's offered with humility to the Supreme Lord. So that Krishna says, I reveal myself to that person who performs yagya priti purvakam. That means you have a little deity. Somebody may be offering very fancy things to the deity, but he's thinking, this is good for me, I'm going to go to Swagaloka. But then some simple soul gets a glass of water, puts a tulsi leaf in it, and offers it to the shalagram, the deity, with love, which is the better offering. The second one, of course. So, this is the art of devotional service. To do everything as a loving, pretty poor. And then dadami buddhi yogam tam. Buddhi yoga means that it gives intelligence, buddhi, intelligence, how to know the path. And tesham sasata yuktanam bhatitam priti purvakam. I dispel, I personally, Chaitaguru within the heart, clear the path, give the path, make the path very clear in my devotee's heart, and I reveal myself. So this is how Krishna is captured, priti purvakam, by performing devotional service, not necessarily mechanically or for our own interest, but as an offering. So in the beginning, Suridam Sarvabhutanam, right? Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Bhuktaram Yogya Tapisam. We approach Krishna and he's the Supreme Lord. But then as we develop Priti Purvakam, then we become attracted to Krishna in one of the Sthayi bhavs. We become attracted in Madhurya, conjugal ras, Vatsalya, parental mood, Sakya mood, Dasya bhav, so on. And then so on and so forth. And then we perform devotional service in that mood. That is Raganuga Bhakti. But the important point, O sinless one, you see this? This is the most confidential part, O sinless one. So, as Prabhupada said in the purport there, if we want to actually realize Krishna asumudho personally, we have to become sinless, right? Rupa Goswami is given 8 stages, right? Ato Shraddha, Sadhusanga, association with devotees, Bhajana Kriya, learning from the devotees how to become a bhakta, practice bhakti, then anartha nivritti. And Prabhupada explains there, we have to become sinless, and the problem is weakness of heart. There are 4 anarthas. Generally, Vishwanath Chakravarti gives very complicated and detailed analysis, but generally it is in 4 parts. One is, the first anartha is swaswarup aprapti. One doesn't understand philosophically Krishna or himself, the relationship. One doesn't have a good understanding of Krishna, his position, and the position of the living entity. Second one is then, because he doesn't understand Krishna and he's not getting that attraction, asatrista, as Prabhupada says there, the second one. You become attracted to the material world. You hanker for the asat. Asatyagi, Vaishnavacha. So you're not realizing Krishna, so you become still a little attracted to Maya. And then the third one is aparad. And that has 4 divisions. Dham aparad, Nam aparad, Seva aparad, and Vaishnav aparad. And they're each more important. And then the 4th one is Hrida abhalyam. Bhakti Vinod and the Acharyas explain. It means this, Hrida, in the heart, abhalyam. There's no determination. So one has to have that firm conviction, that has to have that dedication. One has to make the decision, I am going to become a devotee. And I'm going to overcome my attachment to the Maya Shakti, and I'm going to take the instructions of Shastra, the Acharyas, and my spiritual teachers, and I'm going to make a success of my life. And that is, and then anartha nivritti. That means you overcome the anarthas by that and practicing. And then what happens? Nishta. Next stage is nishta. You become firm because you're not being agitated by material desire and aparad and so on. So you're firm in your detachment. And this is the sinless stage, because you're nishta, because now you're realizing Krishna. Then you get ruchi. Ruchi means, oh, I'm realizing, and I'm getting spiritual enjoyment. I'm getting spiritual taste. I'm getting transcendental taste. But that's only there, as Prabhupada pointed out, and as Krishna's, O sinless one. You cannot realize Krishna in any direct way if you're still sinful. So we have, as Prabhupada and the Bhagavatam is there, 4 regulative principles. And we try to avoid, fault finding, nastiness, and so on and so on. It's called sad achar in the Brahma Samhita, saintly behavior. Try to become a good person. And that will be expounded in the next chapter, the divine nature. So the lowest stage of ruchi is, oh, I'm enjoying. But the highest stage of ruchi is, I'm enjoying chanting and hearing and thinking as an offering. I'm realizing that I'm offering all this happiness to the Supreme Lord. Then one becomes a Shakti. That means attached to spiritual practice, and then that condenses into Prem. But the main problem is to overcome anarthas. The rest will come easily. If you realize Krishna by becoming sinless and practicing bhakti nicely, then you'll realize Krishna directly, and then it's very easy to go to Prem, because you've overcome the rough patch. Most people, they have problem with anartha. There's 6 also enemies of the mind, right? Lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, envy. These are the 6 enemies of the mind. So the person in Nishta, person who is realizing Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Tattva Sutras, he explains what the person at Nishta, he's overcome anarthas, 90%. Nishta means he sees everything as the Leela of Krishna. Like I've been saying for a few weeks, that everything is the Leela of Krishna. The material world is the Leela of Krishna. It's at the beginning of the Bhagavatam, he creates. All the planets, all the interplay. Krishna Leela isn't just Krishna coming to Gokul with the residents of Vrindavan. Everything is Krishna Leela. So the person in Nishna, properly instructed, sees everything as the Leela of Krishna. And he becomes Nishta. So that means he sees everything in relationship to the Supreme Lord. Before this, we think, oh, that person's bad, he's doing a bad thing, I don't like this, I don't like that, and we kind of seeing in a relative to ourselves, we're analyzing. But the person who's realizing Krishna is realizing that everything is the Leela of Krishna, and that's wonderful. And he's feeling nectar. because Krishna is revealed through his Leela. So therefore he goes to Ruchi and Prem very easily. So therefore Bhagavatam is full of the Leela of Krishna, so that we can become absorbed and Nishta and realize Krishna. But to have the taste for that, we must follow rules and regulations. That's what Vaidhi Bhakti is for, to discipline our material conditioning, our material tendencies. And that is done in Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha, if we follow Sadhu Sangha, then we can overcome, if we have good association. And Mahaprabhu said, Asat Sangi Tyagi E Vaishnavachan. That if you give up, who is a Vaishnava? He gives up Asat Sangi. It doesn't just mean material people, but material aspiration. Asat Sangi Tyagi. He's not aspiring to be a big man in the material world, to be famous, to have a position, he's not hankering for that. He's hankering for what? Kabhi habhi bolo se dinamar. Right? He's hankering. When will Nityananda be merciful to me? When will I be able to chant the holy name properly? When will I be able to realize Krishna's pastimes? When will I be able to do something that is pleasing to my spiritual master? When will I be? These are his aspirations. So therefore, we must understand this, that devotional service doesn't just mean giving up material aspiration. As satsangi chage. I don't want the material world, I don't want that. But it means to want the spiritual pastime. We have to desire to enter the Leela of Krishna. We have to desire to develop our relationship with Krishna. You see, the Buddhistic idea or the Voidistic idea is, oh, just renounce the world and sit there and vibrate in Om and merge into the Brahman. But that's just another form of selfishness, right? But the real bhava of the soul is Gopi Bhata Kamalayo Dasa Dasana Das, that I am performing all these activities of Sanatan Dham and Varnashram as an offering to the Supreme Lord. And then Krishna reciprocates by giving realization of himself. And then, Sava Bhavena Bharata, the person on that platform sees everything as Krishna Leela. So he lives very peacefully. Like Prahlad Maharaj. He was very peaceful, even though his father was Hiranyakashipu. The devotees, they don't concern. This is the Leela of Krishna. And if Krishna wants me to live, Rocky Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rocky Ke. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. If Krishna wants to save you, nobody can kill you. Because the devotee, he identifies with Krishna. And so Krishna becomes an open book in his heart. He becomes enlightened. He's Sava Bhavena Bharata, like it says here. He becomes the knower of everything. Why? Because he's crossed to the other side of the Maya Shakti and he's situated in the Chit Shakti, and there's no darkness of illusion. Just like Prakashante Mahatmana. The devotee that crosses over the Maya, that Mahatma, he knows everything, he understands everything. He sees Krishna within everything and everything within Krishna. He sees Krishna everywhere, in every circumstance. And there's no mystery for him. As soon as he thinks about, cogitates, considers something, then Krishna gives the right understanding. So eventually, enwrapped with Krishna, he develops mystic powers, mystic insight, mystic knowledge. And we are just after the Leela of Prabhupada. How did Prabhupada write such brilliant books? He said, I've not written these books. Krishna has written them, right? Krishna has written the 100 books, the commentaries. And when you read them, you think, wow, it's so clear, it's amazing. Why? Because Prabhupada was the medium of Krishna. But that's not to take the credit from Prabhupada. But just like in the Ras Leela, Krishna is dancing with each gopi individually. In Dwarka, he's expanding with his 16,108 wives. And so the devotee has the expansion of Krishna personal in his life. And therefore it's said in the Chaitanya Bhagavan that the Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya, enjoys pastimes in the heart of his devotee. That means when Prabhupada went round the world, he was going there with Lord Chaitanya in his heart. And so he was speaking here, do this, bring that professor, I'll talk to him. And all the professors, oh, that's he was establishing Krishna consciousness with Lord Chaitanya. He's not. And so in this chapter here, Krishna starts. The material world is an entangling place. By detachment, you can become free. And then you should seek that transcendental world. But this material world is, I am within it. And the living entities, this is the Purushottam Yoga, Prabhupada. The living entities are transmigrating in this material world. And I am supervising that transmigration within their heart. I'm Matak Smriti Gyan, I'm guiding them in this way. But I am the light of the sun and the moon. I'm not just in the heart of the living entities, I'm within everything. And those that meditate upon me in this form, within the heart and within all creation, they realize me asamudho. So this platform of realizing that everything is the Leela of Krishna, and we should leave everything in the hands of Krishna. This is the platform of Vaikuntha. Because when we realize that Krishna is within everything and the supreme controller, then we lose, as Prabhupada mentions here, this desire to be the controller, which is material life. In material life, we want to be the controller, Ishwaropi, and the enjoyer. We want to control and enjoy the material energy. But when we see that even this material world is the Leela of Krishna and he is the supreme controller, then we become relieved of this material idea that I should control and enjoy matter. And we just relate to Krishna directly as the supreme controller. And then we realize Krishna. As long as we think we're the controller and enjoyer of matter, we cannot really understand Krishna. This is because we still have this mentality. So this is Purushottam Yoga. Krishna explains that, right? That I am within everything. I'm within the heart, giving guidance. And there's two classes of beings. There's the fallible and infallible. There's the people who are in the material world, they're fallible. But those that are realized in Krishna, infallible. And this one who realizes me without doubting as a supreme person, Janati Purushottam, Sava Bhavena Bharata. That means he's crossed to the other side of Maya. So we see that in the great acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He wrote all these incredible books and bhajans, Narottam Das Thakur, all these incredible books. The Jiva Goswami, Satyandava, Sanatan Goswami, all these, Rupa Goswami. How do they write all this incredible literature, which is without compare in the material world? The material, the literature, the Vedic literature, why? Because Krishna's within their heart and they've crossed to the other side of darkness, of the Maya Shakti. And this is what Krishnadas Kaviraj says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. You know that I'm in my 80s, I'm old, I'm tired, but I'm just writing this book, and I can't, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I can't stop. I'm just writing and writing, and why? Because the devotee becomes the instrument of Krishna. That is the ultimate position. And he reciprocates with that. Particularly the devotees that are spreading Krishna consciousness. They become the instrument of Krishna in this material world. And we see that in the acharyas. But like outside that, you just see mental speculation. This ism, that ism, this ism, that comes and goes in the material world. But the Vedic literature, the Bhagavad-Gita, it is Sanatan, it is eternal knowledge. And it is without comparison. It is without comparison in this world. The Bhagavad-Gita and all this. They're always coming up with this ism, globalism, socialism, national socialism, communism, capitalism, globalism. They're all just speculation of ignorant fools. But the devotee realizes the Supreme Lord and sees the Supreme Lord within everything and everything within the Supreme Lord. And then he transcends the modes of material nature, becomes Nishna. And in this sinless condition, like I say, Nam Ruchi. He tastes the nectar of the name. He becomes fixed. He develops bhava. At the stage of bhava, you'll find that nectar of devotion. Then Krishna is realized. Not theoretically or shastrically, but personally and direct. And then prem. And then one enters the Leela of Krishna eternally. One who attains me never retains this material, never comes to the material world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So remember this. It's very simple here. Janati Purushottam. This is the big focus for the sadhaka. With at least myself, you may be Paramahamsas. But for the sadhaka, there's two types of devotees. Sadhaka, bhakta, siddha bhakta. So the sadhaka bhakta, he should be very much understanding that all I'm doing in my sadhana is realizing more and more Purushottam, that Supreme Person. And then I'll realize my relationship with that Supreme Person. And my swarup, my nature, and everything will be revealed, and I'll enter into Raga Nuga sadhana. That means you perform your meditation and your offerings with an awakening mood in Madhurya Ras, Vatsalya Ras, Sakya Ras, and so on. Your mood is inherent, constitutional. This is very important. The deviant sampradayas, they say we don't have inherent swarup. We've discussed this point. No. How can you absolutely defeat that idea that we don't have prem or we don't have swarup? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadhakabanai, Shravanadi Sudhajit. That the Krishna Prem is eternally situated in the heart. So how you can have constitutionally Krishna Prem without constitutional swarup? And then the Ishupanishad says, what does he say? He says, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Uchyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnam Eva Vasishyate. This absolute truth, Krishna, is perfect and complete. And therefore all emanations from him, such as this material world, are perfect and complete and perfectly equipped as complete wholes. So we are perfectly equipped with our swarup. Jivara swarupoi, nichera Krishna does. We have that, but it's dormant. But it will grow when we go through the testing period of anartha nivritti with determination. But we should be inspired, yes. Lolam, that's what I desire. I want to go that. I want to make my spiritual master, the acharyas, proud of me. I want to prove myself to the Goswamis, to the Sampradaya. I want to prove that I want their mercy. So that is the test of sadhana bhakti, the determinations. Prabhupada says that, Ridabalam. So that determination will be there by sadhu sangha, but ultimately it means us. It means your own decision, your own free will, your own application. If that is fixed, then nothing can stand in the way of you attaining perfect Krishna consciousness. So we have to realize that. Whatever the circumstance, I'm going to approach Krishna. And Krishna says, Evam dadami buddhi yogam tam. So it's not that difficult when we enlist the help of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we'll finish on that point. Any questions?
Yeah, can you explain the Ashakti scriptures a little more?
Ashakti.
Yeah.
That means attachment, right? Ashakti means, comes after ruchi, right? Ruchi means you've overcome anarthas largely, so you're getting taste for devotional service, but a spiritual taste. Now, some people may mistake it. They think, oh, I've got a position. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, but I'm a big devotee in the bureaucracy, or I'm respected and I have a position. And they may feel a little material ruchi about that. Oh, I'm a big man now. I've been, I've got position. I've got name and fame. But that is material ruchi. The ruchi that is mentioned there, Rupa Goswami, means the ruchi of touching the spiritual, the bhakti rasamrita sindhu, the ocean of nectar. Because in the material world, what do people want? Lord Chaitanya said, right? Dhanam, janam, sundaram. They want wealth, they want position and followers, and they want sundaram, sex life, and the expansions of sex life, like a family and children and dynasty. They want these things. But the ruchi before Ashakti means that. I'm getting the feeling that Krishna is pleased with me, and I'm touching the nectar of transcendence. And that experience is a different taste. This is how we recognize. That is a different taste than anything in this material world. And Krishna gives that to devotees, right? When they chant, sometimes they get some ruchi, he's encouraging us. So the ruchi, once that ruchi is there, then a Shakti follows. That means attachment. I'm feeling the nectar, and I'm developing service mood. I'm chanting and remembering and reading and doing devotional things, worshipping Shalagram, and as an offering. You see, this is the important point. In the material world, everyone is doing everything for themselves. So we may come to devotional service and we think, this is going to be good for me. But really, it's supposed to save above. The devotee, what are the gopis? They're running to dance with Krishna in the Ras Leela. Why? To enjoy? No, to give enjoyment. You see? This is the spiritual mood. I am offering nice things for Krishna for his enjoyment. I'm chanting for his enjoyment. I'm coming to Bhagavad-Gita as an offering for Krishna's enjoyment. And we should realize that, yes, even though I'm a tiny spirit soul, Krishna enjoys my offering. So then he reciprocates directly. So then we become a Shakti, because we're realizing Krishna more and more, you see. And that leads to bhava. That means spiritual emotion, loving emotion. And that is in all the acharyas. But at bhava, that's, as I said earlier, that's when we directly realize Krishna. So ruchi, just like anything, material example, anything you enjoy. Say you love to play guitar. You're getting a taste from playing, you become attached. You understand? You become attached to playing the guitar. So then you practice more and more every day, and you become a virtuoso. You become a great guitarist or a great piano player, because you develop a ruchi for playing. So you become Beethoven, or you become Chopin, you become Brahms, because you had a ruchi, and that ruchi made you attached to the practice. Now the first time you pick up guitar, oh, my fingers hurt. Oh, I can't play that. How do I? It's out of tune. So that is sadhana bhakti. But when you know how to tune a guitar, and you're enjoying, you're practicing, but it's enjoyment, right? So bhakti is like that. You're doing all the devotional practices, but you're enjoying it. You think this is really nectar, right? So then what happens? You become a Shakti. So then from a Shakti, you develop more and more bhava. You develop spirit, your soul wakes up. And then you realize Krishna and your relationship more and more. And then that goes to prem. Does that answer your question?
Sure. There's another one, no?
Go on then.
In the Bhagavad-Gita, one of the first verses is it kicks out kind of the Damana, right? But then we have this verse, Akama, Savakama, Ra. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it says here, all his endeavors will know perfection. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm just wondering, it seems contradictory almost.
What that? What's the contradiction?
Well, if you're full of material desire when you have no material desire, whatever is the case, you should...
Yeah, no, but the thing is, you can still have so much attraction to Krishna, but Krishna advises akama, savakama, mukshakama. He says akama. If you have no attraction to material things, no desire, akama, then you should worship me. But then he gives ground. He said, mukshakama. If you want liberation from material suffering, then you should worship me. Akama, savakama means if you have all material desires, then still go to me. Right? Because then you become purified. So Krishna is very liberal, right? If you have no material desire, Trivrena bhakti-yoga, you worship me. If you have all material desires, still worship me. If you want liberation, just worship me. Because I will give all those things. But I will give them in such a way that you become attached to me. Just like the example is what? Dhruva Maharaj, right? He was insulted. He wanted a big kingdom. He went to the forest. He performed austerities. And Krishna came and said, okay, you've done your great austerities. I'm going to give you the big kingdom better than your father. But then Dhruva said, no, I don't want it. I was looking for broken glass, but now I found a jewel. But then Krishna, what did he say? He says, no, it's my promise. It's my promise that whoever worships me for whatever thing, I will give him. But now you have had my darshan, I'll still give you, but you'll still remain attached to me, right? So that's how Krishna, you understand? So Krishna is saying, okay, perform karma yoga, but keep bhakti in it as well. Perform jnana yoga, but mix it with devotion to me. But if you're a Shuddha Bhakta, you only have one idea. I want to increase my bhakti so that it's more pleasurable to Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, Acharyas. You see? So Krishna is very liberal. Everything is Krishna. So even if you want to go to heavenly planets and you worship Krishna, oh, I want to go to heavenly planets. Okay, go to heavenly planets. But he will do it in such a way that you become attached to him. Because you'll go to the heavenly planets and say, wow, I'm in the heavenly planets. Krishna must be real. I'm very interested in him. How is he really the Supreme Lord? You understand? I went to him and asking him for a new Cadillac, a new house, and I got it. Well, who is this Krishna? Become interested, you understand? So, it's like that. Krishna is very clever.
So Janis Joplin will make a little bit of advancement?
Huh? I don't, she was a bit of a, huh? What? Yeah, she wrote that song, yeah. Oh Lord, won't you? Yeah, because she's, that song, you know that song by Janis Joplin? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? So that's piety. She's going to Krishna, or the Supreme Lord in her mind, and she's saying, God, give me a Mercedes-Benz. Or a football player, before he goes on the football ground, he thinks, oh God, let me score a winning goal. So, that is piety. There's 4 people that surrender to Krishna, right?
It takes time, though.
Yeah, it's a bit of a, but you're getting there. You're getting there, Because the thing is, that's what we'll see in the next chapter, divine and demoniac. Who is divine? They recognize the Supreme Person, Purushottam. Even though they may be not content, but the demoniac person, there is no God, don't mention God, Don't talk to me about God. So they may go to the lower planetary systems and enjoy luxury there, where there's no talk about. But if somebody who's pious, he may go to Swagaloka, where there's discussion and Sankirtan parties going on, and they're having yagyas. So that's the difference. It's all based on accept and reject the Supreme Person. Now, if you have motivation, that's natural, in one sense, because you've come from the material energy. So there's 4 types, right? What are the 4 types in Shastra? One is, Atati, yeah, they want wealth. And then there's another one. Suffering. Yeah, that's a bit later. The second one is suffering. People approach Supreme Lord because they want money or some material option. Second one is, I'm suffering. I've got a really bad ulcer. God help me. So, okay, according to your karma, that's. Then the third one is curiosity. Like a professor in a college. He may be studying, who is this God that everyone's talking about? So he's curious. And then the 4th one is the man of knowledge. And Krishna says, that person I take as my own. So that's the person, who's the man of knowledge? The one that knows the Shastra, who's performing sadhana bhakti under a spiritual master, right? So that person I consider non-different from myself. I bring him to me. But the others, they're also pious, because they're going to the Supreme Lord. And they're saying, I'm suffering, I need money. I'm curious, what is God? What does yoga mean? Like this, right? So therefore he's focusing on the Supreme in a different way, but it's all piety. Is it correct? Huh? Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes, both.
So that's it. Krishna's very liberal, you know, because he's the father of everyone. He's all merciful. Right? He says, don't worry, just approach me. Ye tam mam prapadyan, just approach me. And I will sort everything out. Huh? Yeah, accordingly. And then Manushana, everyone follows my path in all. That refers to the people who are under karma. The second part of that verse. It means they follow the path of karma, action and reaction. But those that surrender to me, they're under my protection. So that's why we should always think, no matter what the situation is, let me just surrender to Krishna. Whether I'm old, young, male, female, rich, poor, whatever it is, I surrender to Krishna. Huh? And how do we increase that mood? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Maha Mantra is especially empowered with Nityananda Shakti. This is the verdict of all the acharyas. It has a special Shakti in the age of Kali. It brings us to Krishna. It teaches us Nityananda Shakti. Jai Radhe, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Bhagavad-Gita, Sadhu Sangha Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.